here.
We're here.
On our second episode.
Hell yeah, episode number 2.
So if you don't know anything about Central Texas, this is the vortex of cedar and pollen and ragweed and dust and mold and all the things that are going to make you allergic.
It's just horrible. So stuffed up and sneezing all the time.
And the reason I say that is because my allergies are acting up today. And so if you hear me cough, hopefully we can edit it all out. Or sneeze or just clear my throat. It's because of that. I hate living here. Okay, hey, we're back. It's the second episode. And we are super excited that you're here if you're listening to us.
Yes, thank you so much. If you managed to get through episode 1, I really appreciate that so much.
Yes, please let us know if we sound like bumbling idiots or not.
But say it nicely. I get my feelings hurt easy.
Yeah, you do.
I'm a sensitive ass bitch.
Oh my god. You're such a sensitive little bastard. Anyway, okay. So, Dylan, how's your week been?
I've been having to work morning shifts, which is horrible because everybody else, our producer Anabel included, is now going back to college. So, nobody can work mornings, and I hate it.
That's your fault for not telling them that you were in college.
I really should have.
Which I told you to do.
I don't recall that.
Yeah, you should have done that. Don't ever let them know your availability opens, because then you're going to be working those bitch shifts. Mid-shift bitch.
Hate it. But I am all about the money.
Are you?
Even though it's not that good.
No, but at least it's there.
It's there.
It's better than being unemployed, I guess.
Yeah, you're right.
But anyway, I don't know. It's weird me asking you how your week's been, because we see each other constantly.
We do, all the time. We worked together today.
Pretty much the entire day. And then you came back to work after you had clocked out to hang out, which was just kind of awkward and pathetic.
Hey, now.
No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't.
No, you're right.
No, it was cool. We like having you around.
Lit.
I was really hoping to see the ghost right before we came to record.
That would have gotten me in such a good headspace for this.
I know, because I went all the way to the back, to the stock room, into the break room, to check on my lunch for tomorrow, to make sure that I had wrapped it up so that nobody would steal it. And I was coming back thinking, it would just be great if I could see like a shadow person right now. That way I could come into this recording session and be like, I just saw her, I just saw him, but nothing happened.
That's unfortunate.
Isn't it? You spend all this time trying to flirt with a ghost, and she doesn't show up. She doesn't reciprocate.
It's just like me flirting with the regular people in my life.
Right? It's the story of our lives.
You're right.
Just how we are. We're so
This
pathetic.
is the married man.
Even in the afterlife, we are pathetic.
I mean, you're right.
Dylan, you have to get off your phone now. I don't know what you're doing over there.
I'm obviously sexting.
So we've had some really good developments.
I'm not sexting.
I hope not. In the last 2 weeks, we have made contact with a couple of different local paranormal societies, local podcasters, local videocasters, and we are really excited about some of the upcoming content that we hope to record soon.
Yeah.
Some of the collabs in the lingo.
And the best part about it is we're way too awkward to reach out to anybody. These people have just reached out to us. Like, we haven't even put out episodes yet, but they've been following our social media, and they just messaged us out of the blue, and we're like, hey, we're nearby. You should come hang out with us, or we should, work on something together. That's super cool, because we have no idea what we're doing, as you can tell.
That's true, because if we rated awkwardness from 0 to 10...
We'd be at an 11.
We would be at 11? I feel like I would be at a 3, so collectively, you bring us to a 7, which is too awkward to I'm just kidding with you. I'm giving you a hard time.
No, you're not wrong at all.
That's not true. We interact with the public every single day at work.
Yeah, but that's totally different when it's like, hey, how you doing? Can I get your phone number? All right, that all for you. All right, good. Bye. Have a great day. Versus reaching out to people and actually making an effort to have long-term relationships and...
Hey, let's grab a cup of coffee and a beer and let's talk about alien abduction.
Yeah, exactly.
Or UFO sightings.
Or, hey, how's it going? I think you're cute and I'd like to get your number. I can't do that.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You're married.
Those days have come and gone for me. That's a young man's game.
Not my game.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, yeah, we are very excited because we want to get networking with some of the paranormal societies in the area and some of the UFO sighting groups in the area and definitely get their stories and definitely record with them and collaborate with them because that would be just awesome. And so we're really excited about that. So if you start listening to this and you think to yourself, where are they going with this? What are they planning? Those are some of the things we're planning.
Other than that, we have no idea.
We have no idea.
We're winging it.
One story at a time.
One story at a time.
All right. So, Dylan, what's your story?
My story, the one that I am presenting to you today, on this very night, is Richard the Iceman Kuklinski.
Richard Kuklinski. Okay, great.
Richard Kuklinski.
Yes.
He was born in 1935 in Jersey City, New Jersey on April 11th.
Nothing good comes out of New Jersey, right?
Honestly, no. Jersey Shore and the Jersey Devil. What else do you have?
Just trash.
Honestly, that's
Absolute.
it. Neither of those were good things. That's just...
I don't even care if I'm offending Jersey. People from New Jersey. I'm just sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
sorry that you have to live in Jersey.
I'm sorry that I'm not sorry.
That's a good point, too. Anyway, all that is wrong with New Jersey aside, Richard Kuklinski was a super well-known hitman for the mafia and mass murderer. I'm not going to say serial killer, because he wasn't a serial killer. He was just a mass murderer. Hey, Jake, you should stop coughing and interrupting my story.
I already told you about the allergies.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? I don't forgive you. Anyway, so we're going to take it back to his origin story. What do you call that for real people? His background.
His background. That's great.
Oh, I'm such a nerd. Okay, whatever. So we're going to take it back to his background, his upbringing. There we go.
There you go. That's it.
So he was the second son of 4 kids between his mother, Anna McNally, who was a devout Catholic, and his abusive alcoholic father, Stanley Kuklinski.
So you've got an alcoholic father who's abusive, and then you have a Catholic mother who we assume is religiously abusive.
And just regularly abusive. She beat Kuklinski with a broom handle a lot.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so it was just...
Of course she did.
Oh yeah, it was just prime candidate.
Did she recite scripture while she did it?
I don't know if she did, but I'm gonna say yes because I assume so. Okay, let's see. Yeah, his father and mother beat him. Apparently one of the 4 children, one of his siblings, died from the father's abuse. It just got too much and, kicked the bottle.
So this was like the
bucket?
40s and 50s.
Kick the bucket. Jesus, I'm so dumb. I'm sorry. I'm not even drinking.
So this is the 40s and 50s, so you could get away with killing one of your kids and basically no one would bat an eye.
Yeah, honestly. Everybody was an
he fell down some stairs.
Yeah.
25 times.
Yeah, no, those look like slap marks and like knuckle bruises, but no, it was just stairs. It was just stairs. Yeah. So by the age of 18, he'd already killed a couple people, and he had said he's done a lot of interviews with like HBO and things like that, just people wanting to talk about his life and who he was, because he just does not give a shit. He talks about everything super openly. But he said that he really wished he could have killed his father, and he had killed plenty of people just because they were loudmouths or they reminded him of his father. When he was 18, he killed some obnoxious guy in a bar. When the man went outside to just pass out in his car, Kuklinski took a bottle of booze and gasoline and threw it in the car and lit it on fire. Just burned the little bitch alive.
How do you get away with that?
By being a badass. And I think he just got a bottle of booze and he got some gasoline in it and basically Molotov cocktailed it and kind of threw it in and then watched it for a little bit and then left before any cops came. Because I remember reading that he definitely watched it.
Oh my God.
He wanted to see the man burn alive. So that just gives you a little peek. That was when he was 18. He was younger than I am now. It's wild. He's a wild guy. You're in for a good ride tonight.
That's like no soul right there.
Oh, none at all. Absolutely none. So, starting into the rest of his murders, he has killed for sure over 100 people. He's openly admitted that. He's pretty sure that he's killed over 200, but he said he's just lost count at this point. But he openly admits to everything that he can remember. So, a lot of the information that I got is directly from his mouth. And it's really spooky hearing him talk because he's so calm and deadpan. It's just wild. Okay, so his first murder was a local bully that he beat to death. He was bullied a lot. He was abused. Just happened to fall into the bullying too. So, obviously we're just doing so good in terms of who he's going to be.
Yeah, he's batting 1,000 for childhood upbringing.
Oh yeah, 100%. By the age of 10, he had already been mutilating and killing animals, including the cats around the neighborhood and the dogs. He threw a cat into an incinerator and just watched it burn just because he's that kind of guy.
That's definitely the most evil thing I've heard this week.
And we've heard some evil shit this week.
Yeah, because that's what we do.
That's what we do. Okay, so he has 2 daughters and a son of his own, as well as a wife. And surprisingly, he was able to keep all of his criminal activity away from them. They had no idea that any of that was happening.
That in and of itself is a full-time job.
Oh, I know.
I mean, to hide that kind of thing. I mean, if you're going to kill over 200 people, how do you have time to even hold down a regular job if you're doing all this?
Oh, I know. He was a hitman for various mafias, and he still managed to, like, have a family life. He had 3 kids and a wife, and they didn't know anything about any of this.
That's insane. It's just ridiculous.
It really is. There is a plus side. He loves his kids. That's really about the only thing that he loves. He said that he would pretty much do anything for them. And he loved his wife, but just because of his upbringing, he ended up being abusive to her. It got kind of rough in some of that. But he loved his family and he would do anything to protect his family. It's just because of how he was raised, that's just what he thought was normal. And he didn't want to be like his dad, for sure, but That's just what he ended up falling into.
It's just so difficult because hurt people hurt people. It's very difficult.
That was deep, son.
That circle of violence just keeps going.
Alright, so,
when did he get connected to the mob? Did he kill more people between that time and this time? Did they know about him? I want to know. Did they scout him? They're like, hey, there's this guy, and he'll kill anybody.
Hey, how about you shut up and let me tell the story?
I'm just so excited.
I know. Alright. Okay, so, by the time he was in his 20s, he was already a contract killer for the mafia. So he really didn't waste, any time getting out there. The majority of the money he made, besides doing hits for the mafia, was through laundering money and selling porn illegally.
I would love to know more about laundering money. I'm just kidding.
Wouldn't we all?
Because selling porn, that makes sense. Okay, so they made a movie about him.
Yes,
with Michael Shannon and Winona Ryder.
Yes, and also Chris Evans.
Chris Evans is also in the movie Captain America, Steve Rogers.
Yeah, and that was a really
Johnny
good
Storm.
movie, but also they played him down a lot.
Well, yeah.
He was way more intense.
Can you imagine if HBO made a series about him?
Oh my god, that would be so good.
That would be amazing. But yeah, what I was going to say is that the movie definitely doesn't play it, it just glosses over the good stuff.
Yeah, and they really toned him down a lot, too. Because I remember there was a scene in the movie where they handed him a gun and they told him to go kill some homeless man.
Right.
Just for no reason. In the movie, there was, this struggle with him, this inner turmoil of, oh my god, should I do it, should I not? But if you actually look at the real story of what happened there, he just walked out and, scouted the area a little bit to make sure that he could get away with it. And he asked the dude for a cigarette and just shot him and killed him and got in the car and left.
Oh, that's crazy.
There was, no remorse. The only reason he hesitated at all was to make sure that he could get away with it.
This guy is the perfect apex predator.
Yeah. He's horrifying. Also, he's 6'5" and he was close to 300 pounds, so he was pretty big.
Tree trunk.
Exactly. He's just a giant man.
And he's able to commit all these murders because you would think that a guy that big would be really conspicuous.
Yeah, you would think, but he just got away with all of this. I'll tell you how he gets caught later.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, he gets caught. He's also dead now.
He
died in 2006.
I already knew that.
It's like, if you don't know Bruce Willis was dead the whole time, then you know what? That's what you get.
What movie did you just spoil for me? No, I'm kidding.
The Matrix.
I'm not an idiot. I'm not an idiot, Woodhouse.
Okay. Anyway. Okay, so the crime families that he worked with the most were the De Calavante, the DeMeo, 5 families of New York City.
The McDonald family. Ronald, the Hamburglar.
Stop.
Grimace.
Stop.
No, not them?
No, not them.
Think about how many people they've killed.
That's also a good point.
That's
but
right.
we're not talking about that.
Congestive heart failure.
You're right. We're not talking about capitalism at its worst.
Okay, there you go.
Alright, so he was associated with all of those people. Okay, by the 1980s, Kuklinski left. He had kind of bounced around between different mafia organizations.
Kind of like a freelance killer.
Exactly. By the 80s, he left and wanted to create his own crime ring and continued his murder spree. This is a direct quote from the Wikipedia page. Attesting to the randomness of his crimes and violence, Kuklinski confessed he wanted to use a crossbow to carry out a hit, but not without testing its lethality first. While driving his car, he asked a stranger for directions and used the crossbow to shoot the man in the forehead. Kuklinski described the arrow as going halfway into his head. So that's super fun.
Did it come out the back? I assume.
No, it just went halfway through. So it lodged itself about halfway through this poor idiot's brain.
So obviously it was a successful test run.
Oh, yeah. Super good. Did very
Some
well in the
random
test
guy.
audience.
This definitely sounds like serial killer shit.
It does, but it was so random that it's not really classified as serial killer. Because there was no... It's not like he only killed people that reminded him of his father or of his mother. He killed literally anybody except, women and kids.
Just opportunity.
Yeah, it was just opportunity, and for money or whatever. I mean, he just did it to do it. So Kuklinski, I mentioned at the very beginning, his nickname was the Iceman.
Right.
And how did he get that nickname? I know you've been asking yourself.
Yes, I have.
Well, I'm glad you asked.
Thank you.
Usually he would freeze the bodies to hide the time of death. Because you can freeze them, store them, and then dump the bodies whenever you want. And because of all the ice and stuff in the body, you can't really tell. And he got that idea from another hitman named Robert Prong, who went by the name Mr. Softy.
Heyo. Sorry.
Title of your sex tape.
Exactly.
He got the nickname Mr. Softy because he drove a Mr. Softy ice cream truck, which he used to lure his victims to him and appear inconspicuous. So that's a little less fun.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What happens if you just killed a guy and you've got the guy in your freezer and you don't have any ice cream and you stop somewhere and people start mobbing your ice cream truck looking for fudge bomb sticks?
No, I think he carried ice cream so that he could sell it and not arouse suspicion.
That is disturbing.
Yeah, so you could have had dead people ice cream.
It's like, I'd like Rocky Road, please. Oh, we don't have any Rocky Road because there's a head in the Rocky Road bowl.
Yeah, that's alright, I'll take head.
I'm sure you will.
Hell yeah. Alright. So, Mr. Softy taught Kuklinski a few different ways to use cyanide, which Kuklinski had already been using for a little bit, and he had stated that was his favorite way of killing. But Prong taught him a whole bunch of different ways, like being able to put it onto people's food, finding ways of injecting it, putting it in people's drinks, just kind of blowing it at their faces as he walked by them.
I'm going to blow you a kiss. Cyanide. What is that? Chanel number 5? No, it's cyanide.
Okay, so there were a couple times when Kuklinski was asked to film the tortures, or like to film the murders, so that, the people would know for sure that the person was dead. And he did this a couple times, but he didn't just put a camera in front of them and blow their brains out. So he would take his victims and he would tie them to a chair, basically, put them in a cave, and then lure rats to the person and let the rats eat the person alive. And he filmed that and turned it into people. So he was kind of a badass, but not in the good way.
That sounds horrible.
It was rough. It was real rough. He occasionally dismembered people with a chainsaw. There was a big rumor going around that he used chainsaws all the time, but he actually stated that he wasn't a big fan of them just because they were so messy.
I was about to say.
Yeah, it's just a big old mess, as I know from my various murders.
I have only ever chainsawed wood, but tree limbs and stuff like that, but it gets everywhere.
But imagine pumping blood and then organs, and you just get bits of liver in your face.
That's not good.
No, not at all. So Kuklinski, like I mentioned, he's super open about everything that he did, but he said there was only one murder that he actually regretted. He didn't regret killing the person, he just regretted how he did it. It was one of his mafia hits, and he was sent to this person's home, and this in the movie is where James Franco has a cameo, because James Franco plays this victim. He showed up to the guy's house and was going to kill him, and the guy was, obviously begging for his life, but saying, please God, oh God, stuff like that. So Kuklinski was like, alright, listen up. I'm going to give you 30 minutes to get on your knees and pray, and if God stops me from killing you, then you win, and there's a God. But if you pray, and in this 30 minutes... nothing happens, at the end of it, I'm going to kill you. And obviously nothing happened. He killed him, but he had said in one of the HBO interviews that he was not proud of the way he did that, and he said that's the one that he wishes he could go back and redo. He didn't, that was the line for him.
That was seriously badass and horrible.
I know. I mean, it is kind of badass, but it is obviously very horrible. This is how he was caught.
Alright, let's hear it.
Let's hear it. Okay, so he was caught by an undercover ATF agent named Dominic Polifrone, who was wearing wire at the time. Polifrone disguised himself as another hitman to plan out a hit with Kuklinski using cyanide. Kuklinski went to purchase the cyanide off of Polifrone, and he had fake cyanide with him, obviously, because wasn't going to give him the real shit. So he gives that to him, but Kuklinski felt something was a little shifty, so he was like, better test its legitimacy, and found a dog and fed the cyanide to a dog. Obviously the cyanide was fake, it didn't do anything to the dog. Kuklinski was sketched out and just pieced the fuck out. He was not about to let that man stop him. Unfortunately, there was a roadblock that was about 2 hours away from him, which is where he got caught. It was on his way home. So he got arrested there, and fun fact, it took 5 agents to take down the 6'5", 300-pound giant that was Richard Kuklinski, because he just would not go down without a fight. You know, as I assume most people would. I've seen Cops. I know how this works.
Right.
I know how white people work. So he was serving multiple life sentences at Trenton State Maximum Security Prison, which also housed one of his brothers. And in the HBO interview, he had said that he saw his brother almost every day, but they very rarely interacted. Yeah, it was weird. It was almost like they were hardly even acquaintances. He said that the most he ever spoke to him was just saying, like, hey, or how's it going, like, as they passed each other in the hallway. And most of the time, his brother wouldn't say anything. Would just ignore him.
So, dysfunctional family all the way to the end.
Oh, yeah, all the way to the end. The HBO interviews that he's done since he was in prison, he did one in 1992, 2001, and 2003, which is where he just started confessing to all of these wild crimes and, like, how much he just didn't care about any of it. And he said that really the only pleasure he got from life was sex. Like, he didn't get pleasure from killing people. He said he literally just felt nothing. Just complete nothing. Lack of empathy in all respects. Listening to him be so calm and deadpan while talking about, like, throwing a man over his shoulder with a rope around his neck and just hanging somebody over his large body and just being totally chill about it. It's real weird. If you get a chance to check out any of those HBO interviews, I think most of them are on YouTube. That's where I watched them.
That's insane.
Final point, Kuklinski had died at the age of 70 from Kawasaki disease, which is an inflammation of the blood vessels. I did not know what that was. I had to look it up. It was in March 5th, 2006, and he could have been saved, but his ex-wife signed a DNR order for him, so they just let him die.
As they should have.
As they should have, honestly. He had a good run.
See you in hell, Iceman.
Exactly.
That's horrible.
That's why I feel like I had so many points and I sound kind of robotic trying to get through them. But that's just because there's so much information about this guy because he killed so many people. And I edited out a lot. Like, there's a lot I could have talked about. But I just tried to keep it to the important points. So that was Richard Kuklinski.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It was an interesting...
And frightening.
Yeah. It was an interesting ride.
All right. Okay, so my story for today is really close to home. We are going to talk about the Spanish Governor's Palace in San Antonio, Texas.
Lit,
right?
San Antonio's hella close.
San Antonio, right. I don't know why we haven't seen it. I
We
haven't
need to
gone
go.
there, but we definitely need to go because they have tours all the time. It is super haunted, of course. Now, it's called the Spanish Governor's Palace in San Antonio. It's only a couple of blocks away from the Alamo.
Oh, nice.
It actually never was the governor's palace, but it was a place where Spanish captains used to live. And we're talking about Spanish-occupied Texas and Mexico at this time. This is when Spain controlled Mexico, they controlled Texas, they controlled parts of California.
Okay, yeah.
During that time.
Yeah.
Okay. 1718 was when the Presidio San Antonio de Bejar was commissioned to be built.
You're Hispanic. Why did that Spanish sound so bad?
Because I was trying to say it for white people. Do you want me to say it super Spanish?
Yes.
The Presidio San Antonio de Bejar. That's how you would say it. This is how it worked. They were building a fort, basically. That's what this was. The governor's palace turned into a fort. And it was built in order to protect Mission San Antonio de Valero, which is what the original Alamo was called. The Alamo was the mission, obviously a Catholic mission, and this was the garrison for that. It was built in 1718, or the building was begun in 1718, or commissioned. To give you a kind of a context, the Battle of the Alamo, where Bowie and Travis, were killed, that happened. Bowie and Travis and Crockett. That happened in 1836. So this is
I remember.
Right. This is exactly. You should remember. If you've never been to Texas, if you've never been to San Antonio, something that you must understand about this is that there are literally, every city you go to has a Bowie Street, Crockett Street, Travis Street, because this is a very important battle, very important date in our history. that sort of thing. But we're talking about 100 years before this, almost 120 years before this, was when this mission was built.
There is no time before the Alamo.
Was there not? Yeah, there
No.
was. Sure there was. So, Spanish captains would live there. It became the center of town. Not only that, but during that time, if you were brought to trial for some sort of offense, you were brought to the Presidio, and this is where, it was basically martial law. So the army has control of the area. You're going to be tried by a military court, and you're going to be punished right there on the spot. So lots of people obviously died there. They had a tree in the middle of the Presidio.
I wonder what that could be for.
Oh, just wait. They would strap people there. They would beat people there with whips. They would hang people on this tree.
Oh, groovy.
Of course. Just like in some cities you see, and in westerns you see them where people are hung on the gallows or they're punished in the middle of town. This is what that was built for. There's a lot of stories that correspond to the hauntings of this place. One story states that a husband and a lady were living there. The husband went away on business. The lady of the house was beaten to death during a home invasion.
Oh, damn.
Her daughter was kidnapped, and once the husband came back and found out what had happened, he hanged himself in the home.
Oh, damn.
I was watching a video about some paranormal investigators who have gone there and have done investigations. They were saying that historically there's a place where a teacher hanged herself in the doorway of the home, and so that place has some bad energy there.
Bad juju.
During a 1930s restoration, the bones of an infant were found buried in the walls of the private chapel.
Oh, why is there always got to be an infant?
I know, it's always an infant. They say that on that tree, like I was telling you about, the tree of sorrows, or the hanging tree, at least 35 criminals were hanged there. There's marks that are still indented into the tree where the hanging rope was put there, and the friction rubbed it against, so that there's scars.
Oh, Jesus.
There's also ugly knots in the wood of the tree that people say look like tortured faces. Visitors to the palace have seen figures dancing in the breeze, like shadow people dancing in,
I'm not about
like
that.
Suspended in the tree and swaying back and forth.
No, I'm not about that.
During the course of one overnight stay at the governor's palace, some paranormal investigators said that there were so many orbs circling the tree, it looked like the tree was lit up.
Oh, that's horrifying.
Isn't it? Also, there's the spirit of a little girl, of course, because every story has to have a haunted little girl.
Token little girl.
Of course. She is in one of the bedrooms. She plays on the bed, kind of jumps on the bed. You can see the dust ruffle of the bed, like the comforter, move up and down with like little feet.
Oh, no.
Also, the headboard will rock back and forth as she's walking. It's just so scary. Of course, there's cold spots all over the place. There's cold spots in the doorways. There's cold spots in the bedrooms. There's also a spirit of a little girl near the well.
Is that a different little girl?
Different little girl. Okay, so some guests see a shadow person, a shadow child near the well weeping. One of the stories, I know, right? One of the theories is that the child was playing near the well and fell in. Another story is that thieves were alarmed during a robbery and tied up a child who caught them, and then they threw her in the well where she ended up dying. Also, people see a lady in gray,
of course,
walking through. Of course, it's always that, and she haunts doorways. They think it was the original lady who was killed during home invasion. Apparitions of Native Americans are seen standing outside the walls.
Gee, I wonder why. It's not like all of America is an ancient Indian burial ground.
Exactly. Also, translucent figures of Spanish colonials. Again, of course, the cold spots are everywhere. People have that feeling that they're being watched. People have that feeling of, the hairs on the top of their heads, that they feel like a presence there. It's just so scary. But we have to go there. It's so close. We have to go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, as much as I said, oh, no, and I'm not about that, I'm totally down to go.
Oh, yeah, I definitely want to be scared.
I really want to go. I want to go to so many more haunted places, and I can't wait. I'm going to save it for a little bit later, like another episode, but I have an experience at a haunted hotel here in Texas, and I cannot wait to share. But I loved it. I want to do more. I just want to go to so many haunted places.
Right. One last story about the Spanish governor's palace.
Do tell.
Okay. And it was a video that I watched of a paranormal investigator, and he was talking about a particular tour that he did. That doorway that I was talking about, that everybody sees a shadow person.
Yeah.
There was a mother and a child on the paranormal tour, and they were walking, and they were coming through, and she stopped. The mother stopped in the doorway, and it was like she went into a trance, and she was still holding on to her kid's hand. She went into a trance and was saying, "There's somebody in here with me. There's somebody in here with me. There's somebody in here with me." And it was like she was stuck in a loop, and she couldn't stop. And the kid freaked out and started crying.
Yeah, as you do.
As you do. And then when somebody went to check on her, she came out of the trance and did not remember herself saying those things.
That's real weird. That's some horror movie shit, man.
We have got to go. I mean, seriously, we've got to make some plans.
Oh, yeah.
We need to take some time off, collect some money.
Get some PTO.
Put in some PTO. And just go to the Spanish Governor's Palace.
Yes. Producer Anabel, you're coming with us.
Oh, yeah. I want to definitely see you scared to death.
Anabel's over there whipping in the chair.
I feel like we would be scared shitless, and she'd be totally fine with it.
Oh, no. I'd be cool with it. You'd be scared shitless, and me and Anabel would be laughing at you.
Yeah, because then I have to go home and investigate all the noises. I can't hide under the blankets.
Oh, I know, because you're the dad.
Yeah, because I'm the guy in the house who has to go investigate. And it's usually just a stupid cat. All right, well, that's it for the second episode, I think. Right?
I think so. I'm excited to see y'all again for the third one. I think we're coming back tomorrow. Whether Anabel likes it or not, we're going to be here, and we're going to record the next one. Hopefully get those out pretty soon.
Yeah, Annabelle's a college student. We have to work through her schedule. Although we're still trying to encourage her to quit school just so that she can be our producer.
Be our unpaid producer full-time.
Yes.
That's how you'll support
We're not calling
yourself.
you an intern, but it's basically an unpaid internship.
Yeah. I mean, this whole thing's an unpaid internship right now.
Oh, for sure. That's
Unless you guys want to throw money at us, please do.
Anyway,
Maybe we can buy Jake a real microphone.
That would be great, because apparently I have a POS microphone.
I mean, it works. We can hear you.
I hope so.
It's just, it's not as cool as mine. I get to lay down and have this boom in my face.
That's the title of your sex tape.
God damn it. There it is.
That's what you get. All right. So that's it for our second episode.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram and like us on Facebook. Also, we're going to get a YouTube channel set up where we can post videos if we ever make those, or just post the audio with probably our logo on there. So feel free to subscribe to that. We've got Twitter that we're not doing anything with.
Tell everybody you know about us. And
Yes,
make them
please
listen.
do. Please.
Blackmail them if you have to.
I would wholeheartedly support it if you blackmailed people to listen
Absolutely.
to us.
Pull out all your dirty favors.
Oh, yes.
But
you know that secret file that you have in your phone for him? You know the one.
Stop it.
Annabelle's rushing us.
I think Anabel has to use the bathroom or something. All right, listen.
I've had to pee for an hour.
So have I.
I don't
So
wanna
have I.
back.
I should have gone earlier.
You
Anyway,
did.
listen. All right, take 5. No. We'll do it live. Listen, we want to thank you for listening, and we hope that we have left you too scared to sleep.
Lit.
God. It's very difficult.
That was deep, son.
That circle of violence just keeps going. This is Delilah, letting you know I'm sending you warm thoughts right now.
Stop. This is not ASMR.
Delilah.
Stop. Jesus. You're doing your ASMR voice. I hate it. I'm not about that.
Our producer's saying that she fucking hates Delilah. Stop it! Her son killed himself a couple of years ago.
And she won't let anyone forget.
And she won't let anyone forget. Oh, I don't listen to her, so I don't know.
Oh my God.
She's in Houston every night.
Why would you
playing
willingly
some
know?
bullshit.
Oh my God.
She's like, oh my God, did your husband die? Did you run over your dog? Just listen to my voice. It'll fix everything. I have the perfect song for you. It's something shitty from the 80s.
This is why I love
But
this.
I will rant about Delilah for days.
I want no. Wait a minute. We have to
one
do.
of these days.
We have to do an episode of just you ranting about Delilah. I want to hear it. I want to record
There's
it.
a couple people on my kill list, and it's Delilah #1.
Oh my God.
Number 2 is J.Lo.
Why J-Lo?
Wait, hold on here.
I just have a grudge against J.Lo.
What did J-Lo ever do to you?
I don't know. And
This is great. Hold
I
on.
hate her.
Hold the phone.
Oh my God.
You have a kill list. I love this.
Yeah.
Who else is on the kill list?
I think that's it so far. Just Delilah.
Delilah and J.Lo?
Yeah.
Not anyone else?
No, but I hate Delilah.
Whose
like
kill
it.
list is only 2 people?
Not like your second grade
I'm
math
only 19.
teacher.
How many people am I supposed to be murdering?
I've got a lot more.
Kuklinski had already murdered people.
Yeah,
I know,
guess
he was
Kuklinski
18, he'd already murdered people. You need to step your game up, Anabel.
Obviously.
Jeez.
I hate Delilah.
No, it's horrible.
It's so good.
It's horrible.
Anabel agrees. She's shaking her head yes.
Hell no.
That was a hell yes.
Oh my god, that's great. I
Alright,
love it.
continue.
That's wild.
Continue.
That's wild. If it makes you feel better, the way my house is set up, you enter through the front door or even like the front window, and the first room that you get to that's occupied is mine. So I'm always the first one to die in a home invasion.
That's good to know.
My parents are at the back of the house.
They would
So
never
I'll
know.
get murdered.
So somebody could come into your room, Night Stalker style,
Oh yeah.
and abduct you and turn you into a sex slave, and no one would know.
Yeah, though I don't know why anyone would want me. I mean,
That's true.
yeah. There's so many better options for your human trafficking.
Listen, if you're feeling down about yourself, I have the perfect 80s song for you.
Please stop this.
I'm
We're
sending
not
you
going
warm
back.
vibes right now.
We're not going back to this Delilah
Letting
bullshit.
everybody know that I'm
Oh
thinking
my
about
God.
you.
Oh my god.
Here on Delilah.
Stop. Annabelle's gonna kill you.
Now that I know what
Her-
makes you throw up, it's just going to be the thing that's going to
Her
trigger
kill
you.
list was Delilah,
And
J.Lo,
J.Lo.
and now Jake.
And now it's me.
Yep.
And now it's me.
There you go, Annabelle. We did this for you.
We did it for you, just for you.